So on that note, just one thing I wanted to talk about quick, because this is kind of happening right now. A lot of guys are going through camps, and which is so annoying to me, because like all these camps are like right now at the same time, and like these kids have to pick what to do and where to go, and they all overlap, and they got to prioritize what they need to prioritize and whatever. But anyways, what's happening now is a lot of kids are getting cut from teams. They're getting released. They're not making it to the final thing. They're not getting invited back to main camp and whatever.
So this is at a junior level you're talking?
Yeah, junior level. But even AAA, like tryouts and stuff just finished too, right? So like kids have gotten cut that thought they were going to make a certain team, and now there's open borders, and they got to go around another team and try to figure it out and whatever. And a lot of I've been talking with some of these kids, for me at the junior level, that haven't gone on. They haven't made a main camp or whatever. They got cut at, and maybe thought they could have done better or gone farther. And like the reality of the competitiveness of making junior teams, and how many players there are, and what the junior teams think, and some of the feedback that I'm getting from the players and their parents on their experiences at some of these camps. And these would be like more camps that matter a little bit more. Like it's not just like the moneymaker camps where it's like just show up with a bajillion kids and whatever. It's like they're actually trying to evaluate for their team now, so it's a little bit more serious. And the level,
you're basically taking the big pool of people and you're shrinking it down to maybe a top 40, 50.
Right. Okay. And it's like, so a lot of these kids that think they were going to be in the top 40, 50 aren't. And that's like now a reality. And for a lot of these kids that just went through the draft, that got drafted, they're going to get their reality over the next several weeks as they realize there's really not that many spots in junior. And just because you got drafted doesn't really mean a whole lot beyond you get your foot in the door. Like you say, you have an opportunity and there's a team that has identified you and all that stuff. So I want to talk a little bit about the mindset, the disappointment, the emotions, and then the solutions isn't the right word, but like the next steps after you're in that situation. So I'm thinking of one kid in particular at the moment where he thought he had several different options, and then all of a sudden he actually doesn't really have any options. And right away, talking to one of these kids, it was like, he didn't say this, but the mentality was like, I might as well just quit. I might as well just quit. So if you're dealing with that kid, let's maybe start there. It's like, if you're dealing with that kind of kid, like what are some of the, maybe the not even necessarily the words you'd give to him just yet, but just like the thoughts about that and handling that as the player, as the parent, and like kind of walking through that kind of situation.
So if you had if the attitude was like, I might as well just quit, and you're 17 years old, let's say?
You're one of these kids. Like you were expecting, maybe you weren't even expecting to make the team, but you were expecting to go to main camp.
I would always say this is the number one thing. I would say it to my kid. I would say it to him, if he came to me tomorrow and he said, I don't think I can be a pro hockey player, Dad. I think I'm going to quit. I'd say, okay, that's fair enough. I think everybody gets to that point at some point. Like, it's a decision you make. It's a fork in the road, and you take it or you don't, right? And but the bottom line is, like, the first question would be like, obviously there's something that's rubbing you the wrong way. You're pissed off, all that kind of stuff. But the bottom line is, what did you play the game for? And if you love the game, not like it. If you love the game, then just love the game. Play hockey because you love it. And you got and I understand, like for me, I was that, like, when it got to the point where I realized, okay, you're not going to play in the National Hockey League, I was done. Because I was good, and then I said, well, if it was that or bust. I was done. And maybe if I had someone around me saying, yeah, but this, but I knew in my head I was done. Like, for me, I knew I was done. So did I love hockey? Probably at that point, no, not anymore. I probably didn't love the game. I love the game, but I probably didn't like the other stuff that goes on. I'm not saying that was a bad thing. It's just I was done. So that's what the first thing I would say is, like, do you love the game? If you love the game, you need to continue to play. And then, because the passion for the game is number one. Number two, and maybe it rekindle things, and maybe you're just in a bad spot. So quitting the game would not be the thing you want to do. Take a minute to reflect, and then the life lesson comes after that, right? As a parent, wouldn't be just like, here's your advice, go do it. It'd be like, okay, so here's the thing in life is that this is something that you love. And no one said, unless maybe someone told them it was going to be easy, but no one said it was going to be easy. In fact, it might be one of the hardest things you're ever going to do. So why don't you take the challenge of thing that you love and do it as hard as you can for as long as you can, and take the ups and the downs and take the learning lessons of, okay, I thought I was here, but apparently I'm not. But I love it so much that I'm willing to do something to get to there, and I want to solve some problems. I want to pursue my passion. And what does that mean? That's where, it's the David Goggins things, right? You got to sit down by yourself, pen and paper, no one else around, no other thoughts, and look at yourself. Look at yourself and just say, what is it? So, is it my skating? Do I work hard? Like, just break things apart. If that's the deepest part, right? But look at, what do I need to fix if I really want to do this? And do it.
So why would you say, we're getting more into like the philosophical, which is where I like to be. Why would you say, you said if you love the game, you should keep playing? Why? Why not say, because like, if we're having a like actual real conversation, the number of kids, if you get cut from a junior B camp and you're 17 years old, like the likelihood that you're going to go on and be pro or get something out of hockey is like very, very, very low. If at that point you're not. Now, that doesn't mean it doesn't happen, because it definitely happens. So from that perspective, if you go play by the numbers way, it's like, okay, this isn't really going to work out in all likelihood anyways. So why do you think it's important that if you still love to play, or if you still love the game, why should you keep playing? Why shouldn't it just be pack it in and go pivot and start learning to love something else?
Well, when we put reality into hockey, we should tell all our kids to quit at 3. That's why.
Yeah.
Because we love hockey. Hockey is one of the greatest things you can do. It's a great game. So why would you want to quit something and have regrets and not push yourself and enjoy yourself? So that would be my number one thing is if you love the game, that's why you should be playing. And even as a NHL player and a really good prospect or whatever it is, you could say that you don't love the game anymore, and I get that part because I was there at some point. You play because it's a job, you play because of this, play because of that, but at the end of the day, you don't have a lot to compare it to if you're a pro, right? You play because you love the game, more or less, and the more that you play for the love of the game, the better off you're going to be, like, playing it, right? So I just think the joy of hockey, like anybody that is playing just to make the NHL. I mean, maybe there are people like that, but I mean, there's a reality check there. So just, if you're 14 and you're playing to make the NHL and that's why you're playing, you're not probably having fun anyways. So anyways, I would just say, because you love the game. You love the game. Why would you do something that you don't love? Why would you quit something that you love? Does that make sense? Yeah, why would you quit something that you love? Like if you got in an argument with your wife that you actually loved her, like you actually loved her, not pretend to love her, but you actually loved her, and you had an argument about something one day and she just said, like, I'm just whatever, and it just pissed you off, and that was like, okay, well, I'm done. It's like, well, for one thing, right? There's bigger pictures, and but the other thing is, like, if you love something, this is the other thing, is if you love the game and you quit because you didn't play pro, like, you're missing the point. I'm not saying don't, if you want to be a pro, that should be your number one goal, or to get a college education or whatever. Like you need to shoot for it, but you're missing the point. And there's so many things there's so many lessons that come in the game, right? So many lessons. So if you do something that you love and you learn, okay, just because I love something doesn't mean it always works out. Like, there's going to be hard things in everything that you do. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. But like, think about this. If you can quit something that you love just because it didn't work out, what would you do if something you don't love and something goes wrong? And in life, most things you're not in love with, right? Like jobs, all kinds of things. Not in love with it, so it's like you just quit then. Well, if that's the way you approached everything, you quit because you don't love it enough.
You'll never do anything.
Well, then you never do anything. And that's what I say to kids all the time. I said, if you could tell me that you love hockey and you come to the rink and you're 5 minutes late and you're not excited and you don't work hard and it's a chore to do a skating drill and this, that, and the other thing, I say, you don't love it. But if you say that you love it and this is how you treat something that you love, I can't I don't even want to see how you're going to treat things that you don't love. This should be the easiest thing you ever do if like as a youth hockey player. If you love hockey, should be like no question,
Yeah.
right?
So I think that was going to be probably the only other thing I would add is like you don't know. Well, I was going to say what you said about kind of like the lessons and things you can learn from the thing you love, and those are great points. I don't think would have said it in the same way, which is good. But I was the only other thing I was going to add is like you don't know what's going to happen. Like if it's something you are enjoying doing, then for all of the things that you just said, plus if you keep going, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if you're going to catch a good break or get a really good coach that changes your life or meet somebody that it becomes really significant to you one day, or like you don't know what is going to happen when you explore that path till the end. And like if there's one thing just anecdotally for me, and you kind of said the same thing, is like you kind of know when the end is. When the end is there, you kind of know like I'm good, and you can stop without the regret. You can stop without the looking back on the things that you didn't do and all of that with like, man, I wish that would have been different and all that. That kind of goes away because you took it to the natural end when internally you feel that okay, I'm good. Like this is the end of the road. If you don't do that, like then you stop early and you're going to end up looking back and kicking yourself because to your point, you've been saying a lot over the last several weeks is like you just have a small window to be an athlete and really pursue that. And like you can take over dad's business or mom's business later. You can go to school later. You can get a job in something else later. All of that stuff. You have the rest of your life for all of that stuff.